Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing this Sinn 104 Anthracite doll, but to be fair, we have a few more to look at also. The Anthracite model is one I've never reviewed before, and it's the real first time I've had to kind of properly play with one, and I have to admit I really do like that dial. The 104 is a bit of an unsung hero, I think, when it comes to Sinn. When I first started collecting Sinns, I started off with like the EZM1, EZM2, and they were all bead blast finish, and basically when I got hold of a 104, I found one at a really good price, and when I got it, I was blown away. I think it feels and looks far more expensive than what you'd actually believe. The actual retail price on this one is £1,445, but I'm sure First Class Watches will offer you a deal on that. On the subject of that, I've got to say a massive thank you to First Class Watches of Kenilworth for allowing me to review this watch. So many cool, interesting brands, some you know, some you may not know. So if you're in the Midlands area, I'd strongly recommend popping down to the shop. If you're a little bit further afield, well, don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description and at the bottom of the page now. All I ask, if you do contact them, please mention the channel, as it really would help. So anyway, let's talk sizes first. The actual case size of this is 40mm. The bezel is 41mm. The thickness of the watch is, I'm reading 12.2mm. The lug to lug, so the longest point across the watch, that's the one which is really important, and that's how it wears on your wrist really, is 47mm, and the strap size on this one is 20mm. The dial is fantastic on this model. We have this real strong kind of sunburst finish here, and as you can see, the way it catches the light and moves around, it really does look good. But as promised, we have a couple of others to look at. If you're not sure about the Anthracite, what about blue? That blue dial also looks really good. So you've got that kind of, it looks black in certain lights and then goes, like proper full-on blue. But let's say you're a little bit more kind of, you're not so keen on all the colours. You could always go black, which is what I have myself here. They all look really, really good. This one here, as I say, it has the printed on dial. It has this very fine hour and minute track going around here, and these rather gorgeous syringe hands. Now I must say the lume on these watches is very, very good really. It really does glow, and I really like that. These syringe hands, because the way they go right out to the minute track there, you can set the hands so precisely. I really do like the way they've done them. Normally I'm kind of 50-50, but these I really, really like. I like the white kind of style on there. It looks great. We have the Sinn logo at the top there with automatic in Deutsch Air, and the date window here. Now basically you may be saying, Mitt, well, this is a dual language one. So you have German, so obviously Mittag, Sunday, and we've got Mittag on that. So, don't worry, you can actually, rotate it. What I'll do to actually show that, if I unscrew this crown, which is really nice, feeling crown, pops out audibly. If I pull it into, this is date and handset there. So clockwise, we can rotate the date. Counterclockwise, we have the date. So as you say, it goes into Wednesday there, Donnerstag, Thursday, Freitag, and so forth. So you get the idea. You can have it, English or German. So to be fair, it's not that bad either way, whichever one you have it in. So anyway, as we come past, we are greeted with an ever so slightly domed sapphire crystal. It really does look good in there. Now, I believe there's AR on both sides on these. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to double check on that one. But it does a very good job of mitigating most reflections on there. Now, the bezel I really like on this. I believe it is actually an aluminium bezel on these, but it's got that real nice sheen to it. You've got a nice luminous dot up there. What I like is this watch features 200 meters of water resistance and a bezel. Technically, you could almost go as far as to say this is a, a proper diver's watch. But the bezel on this, what stops it from being that is it's bi-directional. So what you have here is a countdown or count up. Well, technically it's a countdown, isn't it? So you'd start off, if you want to set it for 10 minutes, set it there. And obviously as it comes down, you've got your 10 minutes there. I find these more handier than a dive bezel, to be fair, personally. And the clicks. Is there back play? Nope. Nope. Once it's in position, because it's a 60 clip bezel, it locks into position. And the same can be said, I believe, for all of these. So as you can see, it goes, once it's in position, it does not move. So yeah, what's the nice thing with these is you have that inner ring here. So this you've got a nice bit of shine to, and this is polished as well. Now, what this bezel actually features are these small screws in there. And what that does, it's a captive system. So if you were to knock your bezel, it basically won't pop off. If you've got like a Rolex sub or anything like that, and you can literally pry them off with a knife. This is a much more elegant system. You unscrew the screws, normally leave the one in at 12 and you do the rest, and then you can physically take the bezel off with no force at all. I personally prefer this system. It is a very nice, elegant way of doing, of simply doing this. And the finish, as you can see, is impeccable. You've got these nice, kind of coin edge kind of style there with polished bits in between. This one actually reminds me, there was a fan-based limited edition watch, I believe, with this style, and it was completely bead blasted. Now, if that's something you're after, obviously that watch no longer exists, but if you're in the UK, if you send it to me, I could always bead blast all this for you. That wouldn't be a problem. The case itself is the kind of typical Sinn case you see on most of them, where you've got most of this range of watches, where you've got the chamfers going around there. They've even polished in the centre there. Overall, I think it is, it just looks and feels that little bit more expensive. It's the same across the entire range, as you can see. So there's no difference on any of these at all. I'm just looking, have I picked up any scratches? A couple of little surface scuffs, but these are easy to remove if need be. Now, on the back of this one, as you can see, we have got this absolutely gorgeous SW200 movement. Now, I think on the back of mine, I've got the old-fashioned one here with the brass-coloured rotor. I do prefer these ones. I personally think this new rhodium plating looks absolutely the business. I put this one on the time grapher, and it was coming out at +1 second a day. The movement itself, as I say, SW200 in its top grade form. That's a 26 joule movement. It has around about coming on for 40 hours of power reserve, and it has bi-directional winding. So I personally like it. This rhodium, you can see but just the differences with the Yoshi pattern, the Geneva striping, going across there, and blued screws. It just looks really, really good. I personally think, as I say, it's a cracking watch. I really do like the 104. Let me put this on my wrist so you've got an idea how it looks. Quick wrist check. I'm wearing the U15 from Sinn. This is a variation of the U50 watch, but basically in a brushed and polished case. And it has that absolutely amazing dial. I think that's one of Sinn's best dials they've ever done. Now, Bob has gone for the 556, an absolute classic. Now, one thing I should say before I do put these on, these straps here. This is like their vintage dark brown straps. They are very thick. They've got a real nice kind of cushioning to them there. At the top here, you do get the sign buckle going on there. But like you can see on my, on my 556, you can also add the bracelet to it. So this is a H-link bracelet, and basically this is one I brought basically just to review. This has got the new style clasp on there, which has got on the fly micro adjustment. I'm not so much of a fan of the clasp myself, but I understand lots of people are. It's not really for me. That's why this one came with that, and I simply removed it and fitted a steel reef extension link there. I personally prefer this clasp, as the simple fact is it is lovely and thin, and when I'm working at the bench I find this clasp to be a lot more comfortable than that one. But it's horses for courses. Let's say you don't like the H-Link. Well, don't worry, you can put it on one of these. This is the Sinn Fine Link. And for the 104 watches, it comes with this kind of polished arrangement here, polished and brushed. I've always said that the blue dial, I think the blue dial on this is simply gorgeous and looks amazing. I really, really like the Fine Link on the blue. So, you know, horses for courses, or let's say you want to be a complete rebel, you can go with the silicone clasp here and the silicone bands, and that fits right up to the case. So you can do that as well. So it's kind of up to you which one you want to go for. The good thing is you have options, and options are always good. I'll just put this on my wrist. My wrist size is 7¼ inches. I won't do it down tight because obviously I don't want to leave any marks on the leather strap. But that's an idea how it looks on my wrist. As I say, the 104, in many ways, I prefer the 104, dare I say it, to even the EZM3, as they both carry the same movement, but this has a captive bezel system. And I just find you can wear this, it looks more expensive. There's definitely something about it being polished and that gleam to the bezel as well. It definitely gives that impression of more, you know, kind of a bit more kind of money to it. I know, you know, it shouldn't, but it actually does. So the main thing is, which one do you prefer? There are other variations as well, but I just thought, well, I've got these ones there. Let me know in the comments below, do you prefer the blue or the anthracite or the good old-fashioned black? So anyway, guys, all the best, and most important, you stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.